we're live. We're back.
The legendary, you and me.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I mean, really, who's more legendary, you or me? Because none of these shows went for 10 years back to back to back. So, I mean, they only went 7 years, and we blew past 7.
And way more episodes, too. More hours as well.
Although way less sitting around in our uniform, way less sitting around if uniforms not doing anything. Because a lot of boredom on those sets. A lot of time makeup as well. I mean, I say that, maybe, you know. Maybe you made up for a long... I don't know, Stu. I don't know how long your things are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes, welcome. What are we doing today, Stuart?
Continuing our look at iconic episodes of Trek. We had a few super chats come in later in the last one, and we've got those slides ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with those. But yes, we are looking at Trek iconicness.
And also, as before, and I really enjoyed the last... Because we've done 3 of these sort of, not back-to-back, but within a couple of weeks. The best, the worst, and the most legendary. And they all can have some crossover. So going back to legendary, because that was a really different sort of live. And that you can have legendary really bad, legendarily good. And often, good might make it dull in this context. So it's a really interesting conversation. So, you know, where are you going to put some stories that are iconic, feel iconic, whatever? Yeah, it's a very interesting formula for this. So I'm excited to see what you guys bring to the table, because this is a viewer suggestion. You let us know, we put it in and debate. And if you disagree, you can move it.
Yes, indeed.
How many people do we have currently with us today?
And only 11 likes. Should have 20 likes easily.
Yes. Oh, that's why it's doing that. Okay. But I will start sharing and get the news to the people.
Okay, you do that.
It's not quite that exciting, but it's still quite exciting.
This just in.
Seriously.
I don't know. Right. All right, guys, hit that like button, like I said, and don't forget to join the channel if you're able to. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously, and click the notification bell icon so you get notified when we do lives. But yes, by all means, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and not unsubscribe, because YouTube tends to do that for some strange reason. So do the things. But there is a join option down there as well, where you can join the channel on a monthly basis, and that helps us out immensely. And you get your name in the credits. There's some perks to that, so definitely check it out and let us show your commitment to the Trekyards brand, or just us. I don't know, whatever. You do the things. You can also do the same thing over on Patreon/Trekyards. Same perks and privileges apply over there, and it all, like I said, helps out and adds up. So if you can, please do. Also, don't forget to share the videos around. Hitting that like button is the easiest way, cheapest way, or super chat in during these lives or other lives to part of the conversation. We do read them all on the air, and we address you guys, so do that. Also, make sure you send a super thanks on an older video that's not it's not live. You can super thanks on any video. It's like a super chat, but just not live. So it just shows support for the video and the channel. We appreciate that. So if you can, please do. Also, don't forget there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store, where you can grab yourself some cool Trekyards merch. Lots of really great shirt designs and mugs and shower curtains and phone cases and pillows and blankets and socks even. So lots of different merch you can get, so check out those links as well, and yeah, help us out in any way you can. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right. That's the thing. So yeah, do you wanna, so as I bring the board back up, do you wanna reiterate a few that made it to the board and that are in this list? Just a couple of highlights.
Well, Relics is there. Yesterday's Enterprise. Code of Honor. What?
Truth.
You Belong Home.
Mm-hmm.
Shades of Grey. All like uniconic ones that I'm reading off. But anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to... The pictures are so small for me because I have to upsize things so I can...
Only so much space.
Zoom out, I mean. Let's see what else is here. Ooh, yeah, Generations is there, a movie. Conspiracy. Lots of ones.
What about the Fs? Why are they Fs?
Well, there's a Discovery one there. That's one good answer. First Contact, but not the movie, the episode. And why are they Fs? I don't know.
They're just not that legendary. In the grand scheme, right?
Yeah.
Good episodes?
Yeah, they're good episodes still, but there's nothing legendary status about them, good or bad.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there were some bad titles there. So, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes, sir.
We have our first one, so I'm finding a screen cap right now.
Well, we have other ones that from last time we got to do first, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, are they, they're in this one, are they? Oh, excellent. Beautiful. All right, gone through those then. Super.
This one, which is with Moogie.
Wait, is it Magnificent?
This is Iggy Pop as a
Yes.
Forza. Can't remember the episode title now.
Is it Magnificent Ferengi?
Something like that, yeah. This is a fantastic...
Yes, season 6, episode 10 of...
Yeah.
Disney.
Great Ferengi episode for sure. And Iggy Pop is a huge Star Trek fan, which is fantastic. And for him to be able to play a Vorta with very deadpan kind of delivery, I just thought he was a fantastic Vorta. And a funny episode. It's kind of like Weekend at Bernie's, where they have to animate a dead Vorta, and it's kind of funny. Plus, you're on Empok Nor as well. So, I mean, is it iconic? I mean, for a Ferengi episode, absolutely. I don't know if I would conclude it in the iconic Star Trek realm, though.
I don't get to reiterate, guys. These are ones that you guys put in last time, so keep throwing for this time. I'll be doing a look at those as we discuss. But these are all ones from the last time, so these are all brought in ones. Yeah, I mean, this is a tricky one because this is, I think, a fan favourite. Does that make it iconic? These are slightly different criterion. This is great because it's pretty much the only full Ferengi episode, apart from it's one of the few. The other one being, of course, the Back into the Past Area 51 one. This is similar, but now all the Ferengi cast are in it, including Nog, including. I mean, you can see this basically entire Ferengi. You know, I remember they were talking about how every single person in the makeup chat morning was a Ferengi because they don't have and the Vorta guy. And it's like wow, some crazy cast pictures, and it was also a lot of fun. And to balance all the different personalities with the most easy and efficient and simple, cheapest use of redress sets. Just make them darker. That's it. And take out all the Federation stuff. No, it's really good. Iconic, though. I mean, certainly Iggy Pop goes beyond. Although Ferengi is good. But DS9 has less iconic one-offs, probably. Because it's remembered more for its bigger stuff. What's your gut here? Because I really like this one, but for very specific, small reasons, as in the iconic valueness. What do you think?
For me, I want to say C, because as a Ferengi episode, it's a real standout. But other than that, is that iconic for Star Trek? It's not one of the first ones I would think of for Star Trek. For DS9, it might pop up into a list of like top 20, maybe.
Although again, compare it to the Area 51 one, which has loads more of those really high-end jokes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Personally, I was thinking very high D, low C. I'm right. I'm on that line, so I'll let you place it where you think, but that's where I am. I think you can argue either which way and be justified. Really good episode, but yeah, not necessarily iconic, even though it's very memorable. Yeah, criterion on this are very difficult, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll put it at C for now, I guess. Yeah. Then we have DS9. I believe this is Way of the Warrior.
This is the giant battle one.
And yes, I mean, I guess a turning point kind of in DS9, really, for ramping things up. Plus some fantastic visuals, battles. The station's been upgraded. Plus we held that prop, which is cool. So.
Yes, we have.
So there's a lot of really great stuff with this one. And it is where this is a really good jumping off point if you just kind of want to get into Deep Space Nine. I mean, I hate saying that because you should really watch the lead up for character development and stuff, but
you can also say start with Discovery Season 3. and it's totally justifiable, or TNG season 3 totally justifiable. So there is some fair, you can even say start with Enterprise season 3. It's a much better season than 1 and 2. And if you want to start with TOS, start with Enterprise. As in, if you want to start with more strong stories, Enterprise season 4, start with that. You'll be into the best stories of the overall arc. So, they all have their own quirks, right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as battles and stuff go, this is definitely way up there. I'd say it's a pretty iconic Star Trek episode, an important one, especially in the realm of DS9. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on that.
Yeah, this one's tricky because it's iconic to us. We like ships and space battles. If you think back to it, there's a lot of talking, which is fine, but there's actually a lot more talking than you think. And because it kind of stays with the station and the Klingon ship interiors, there's not a lot of visual difference. Again, not a problem for us, but this isn't in a light, this isn't just Enterprise, visually this wouldn't grab you except for the battle, which of course it'd be except, but there are many battles, right? The Worf comes in, it's iconic, but not for the episode itself. Again, I'm thinking in the Pantheon, right?
Yeah.
I would say High Sea. I think mostly for the towers raising, that's the zeitgeist moment. Worf walking in his uniform. I think, B still has some stronger zeitgeists.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think if it was for like a ship iconic episode, it'd be an A for like epicness of, wow, we did the thing. Super cool. But yeah. And if you disagree, guys, super chat to me if you'd like. That's a really tricky one. Yeah, really tricky. Good shout, guys. Good shout.
Yeah. Next up, again from last time, is Trials and Tribulations. Now, this is probably the most iconic of iconic, I guess, at least for Star Trek fans. It's a nice crossover. Harold's back to TOS, and
see, it does. Look,
I think a lot of people that weren't into Deep Space Nine, but definitely liked their TOS, definitely watched this episode and might have got them hooked on DS9. The love and attention to detail that went into this, and this is also the reason that TOS eventually got remastered, because they had to redo the footage for this and realized that it was possible to do. So that in itself is iconic, just for being able to get us remastered TOS and whatnot. So absolutely fantastic. Love letter to the fans, and I think it probably speaks to non-fans as well. I think it might have introduced some people into newer Star Trek that might not have necessarily been watching Deep Space Nine.
Well, it's funny to think newer Trek when this is now decades old, right?
Yeah.
At the time, newer Trek, etc. Yeah, this one. Interesting you say about most iconic. I would say Guardians of the Edge of Forever is way more iconic, because that is a zeitgeist well beyond. But that's on a different level, right? This is obviously within the Trek zeitgeist. This helps with being just a really solid episode as well, right? And everyone gets to have fun. It's not as serious. Like, the Scotty one has a lot of darkness to it, which is great for itself. But this, Ben's having fun, Jadzie's having fun, O'Brien's having fun. Everyone's really lifted up by the vibe. And that brings that's a very unique DS9 spin as well as being a fun TOS spin. It's the only one where they interact with old footage. That's not done again. That's amazing. Aaron Darvin, if you know, you know. Brought back. Brand new models made for the first time in those decades. And I think this gets iconic points for the Kirk getting hit with Tribbles, but that was an actual original one. So that's kind of
it adds to the fun of the trouble with Tribbles.
It does,
knowing that Jadzia is whipping them up to the thing.
Yeah, this one has the iconic she fancies Spock moment and the sleek black lines, her in the red uniform, should I shag my own mother because it makes my own grandmother, whatever, that whole thing. This has many, and the bar fight, and don't talk to outside about Cleon thing. That was that's an iconic little meme there as well. Oof. When you said tops, that'd be S by definition. I'm oof. I would say S, but more for the amount of small moments.
Yes. Well, this is one of the most Star Trek of Star Trek episodes.
It is.
Let's be honest.
I'm just trying to think out of the fandom as well. But there are so many icons from this that, you know, yeah, I think it should get that, even if, yeah, like James Doohan being back made more headlines, I feel like, than this, possibly, at the time. But this is a better love letter to what it's trying to do.
This had a whole documentary made about the making of it.
Good.
For the Sci-Fi Network.
Should do.
Yeah. So.
Although it's interesting, because when this was made, they could have got Nimoy, Shatner, Takei, any of them to reprise audio-wise. Would have obviously cost a lot of money, but it would have been nice to have had imagine a new line from Nimoy. Who are you? Cadet? Cisco. Cisco, go about your duties. I mean, it was good enough as it was, of course, but you could have actually had anybody back. Just saying.
I'm going to put it as S.
Yeah. Good debate.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think you're the best.
Still continuing from last time, we've got Schisms. This is a terrifying episode. The clicking, and also a really great way to show how the holodeck works, with them modifying the table and stuff, but never really resolved. There's these aliens that are abducting people from our dimension, and it's never mentioned again. Kind of terrifying, and I don't know if it's iconic. I mean, it is iconic. Well, I'm just trying to think of where I'd put it in this list, and I kind of have an idea, but honestly, there's a lot of really cool stuff here, and it is one that really sticks in people's minds, even if they don't remember the episode title. A lot of people call this Night Terrors, and that's a totally different one. But I can see why they make that mistake. So, yeah, there's a lot of really great stuff in this, and to know that people's arms or hands have been amputated and reattached, and some scary stuff going on. Yeah, nightmare feel.
I mean, I feel like, and this is not, none of these are negatives, right? These are quantifying about this is the best of. This is famous for this scene, right?
Yes.
Now, the scene later is great, but this is, as you say a second ago, this is them doing full body horror without showing a damn thing. Because you visualize everything they're saying through the amazing acting, the weird variety of cast here, some you know, some you don't know, Troy's insane hair, brave Riker, brave Geordie, really effective, super beautiful use of the holodeck. I mean, that is like 11 out of 10 creativity and commitment, how slow it is, how drawn out, how the bit is.
Yeah.
The ending is good, but not the best it could be. But we're talking top of the top, right? The clicking, yeah, good, but yeah, this one's very difficult because it's definitely iconic for us. The scene's iconic. But I don't know if you asked people where this was, necessarily even in which show. As in, like, more average people, right? Oh, that's TNG, right? But it could be other things. Oh. What do you think? I'm torn.
I want to say D, in all honesty, just because it's not one that a lot of people... They remember the clicky click and the holodeck scene.
As well.
Yes, but they might they often don't remember the episode title, things like that. So it is iconic, but I think a lot of people also kind of maybe skip it in the rewatches because it terrified them as a kid or something. I've heard stuff like that before.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to say D for right now. It's really good. I really enjoy this one, but
I think again this is where contrast comes into play. I think often a single visual can beat other things. The single visual of Troy as a Romulan is more iconic than this because this is a amalgam of smaller things, right? It's not one thing to grab hold of in the same way. This scene is way more iconic, but it's a scene of thoughts and process and vibes. So I was going to say D or C as well. I think, you could probably go with the D. I think is fine. But this is the best TNG. It'd be a whole different...
We know people out there might disagree with us, but we do walk you through our thought process, and you get to hear it. So if you disagree with anything, you can move them up or down a tier if you really feel strongly about them by shooting us a $5 super chat. We'll move it up one tier. So just saying. All right, we still have 3 more left over from last time.
Very nice.
So the next one is Threshold. which came up in our worst of that we did as well last week. Definitely iconic, but only really for this last scene. A lot of people don't remember the rest. That was the lead up to it. That was fantastic. Breaking Warp 10. Tom Paris kind of falling apart in sickbay. Literally, his tongue falls out. Some really great visuals, makeup, writing, acting. There's some really great stuff in this. It's not as bad as everybody says. All they remember is the sour note that it got left off on, which was this shit. Which Tom Paris and Janeway became lizards and had babies, and then they became human again and left their babies on a planet.
Well,
wow.
This is the joke. It's the Warp 10 Salamander episode. What a stupid way of saying it. Like, that sells it, right? Like, what? What? But I mean, we had this vote. We had a literal vote. Is this one of the worst ones? Code of Honor, this and something else, and this was still getting numbers, right? And the fact is, this is so iconic. It appeared in Lower Decks not once, but twice as distinct, full-on thematic jokes. That crosses the dimension of Intershops. That's a referential show, but that does cross beyond. And it's possibly so iconic they're so definitively infamous that it crossed past the we're never writing Warp 10 stories again. Nope, done. We're out of that. We're never doing it again. Like, this is too much to deal with, right? And you're unmuted.
Wasn't saying anything.
Fair enough.
Kung F R Cooler, though, says F. And I don't think you understand how this is working. This will be higher than an F just because it is iconic as far as being bad. But yeah.
But I think you ask a non-Trek fan for Warp 10 Salamander, they'll look you blankly, right? If you ask Scott to come back in TNG, they're like, okay, I sort of get, like, I guess it's a different criterion, but this is definitely talked about, no one knows much about Almerain, but in a same sentence.
Yes.
But that Almerain is way more famous, is way more stupid in that. I would say this is a B. Because of contrast. Things like Conspiracy, the end is iconic, and Eating Bugs is iconic. So that kind of overdoes this one, even though this is more talked about, I would say. Yeah. But I think a high B. I thought it'd be higher, but I think no, Almerain and Year of Hell are more iconic for good and bad reasons. This is a really pleasant B. Yeah. Okay, okay. I thought it would be higher, but no, I think that's fair.
Two more to go from last time.
You guys are amazing, yeah.
To get us caught up to today. And this one is an Enterprise episode. I don't know which one it is, though.
So this was the episode where they have to live in the cells for a day.
Oh, Catwalk.
Yeah. And I skimmed it, and nothing I saw was memorable. Yeah. And this was the only thing I could find that was a more noteworthy visual.
It is iconic seeing the inside of a nacelle assembly, because it's the most shielded area. That's interesting. But honestly, yeah, they had to...
What's the A plot? What's the B plot? What's the C plot?
Well, they had to stay there to be protected from the storm, so that's why they're in there, first of all. They also pick up 3 individuals beforehand that are staying with them that are kind of shady and trying to steal the ship, I think.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But again, I don't remember all the specifics, so how iconic really could it be? This is an F as far as iconicness goes.
This is an F. I feel sorry to say that, but this is a very, very passable Enterprise episode that might have some good ideas, but as I say, I skimmed it, and visually it was so unbelievably dull and so unbelievably uninspired. But that doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but they could have made that cool in its sense. Yeah, sorry. But hey, it's next to Sloane's first appearance. That ain't a bad thing. It's a good company, at least.
And now the last of the old ones, anyway. Tuvix, which again was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brought up in the worst episode as well.
That was the one to end on last time that we got as a throw in one tremendous curveball.
And nobody agrees on this because we all have our own thoughts on it, but
very much found out last time.
Yeah, Janeway really did nothing wrong. It is iconic as far as a discussion piece in the world of Star Trek, just for its morality issues, and that's important. That's what Star Trek's about, those morality things. There is no right answer, whether you think there is or not. Arguments can be made for and against for each of these arguments, and it's a good discussion piece all around for that kind of stuff. So, iconic wise, oh, sorry, I'll let you talk, but I see where where we want to place it on the chart, but
I feel like this one is zeitgeisty like Threshold for very different reasons. The salamander joke is more funny and therefore more memorable, but people throw this in fans' faces so much more than Threshold. You know, as we had almost a heated debate previously about that. So clearly it's more iconic because way more people want to talk about it, and this increases way more feelings. And there are very few episodes that actually create a negative vibe because people feel so strongly about it. It becomes a yes, no, left, right, easy to, you are on one side, go fuck yourself if you're not, sometimes, feeling. So if you're looking at iconic Trek, not necessarily iconic out Trek, I think this should probably be an S because the amount of debates this caused, and I wasn't thinking I was going to go in with saying that, but the amount of debates, the amount of conversations, we've all debated about this ad nauseum over the years, even though the show was released like 20 years ago and people still don't have an answer and want to debate it. So I think this deserves to be an S because of the amount of discussion and the fact there's still no right answer, etc.
I kind of want to say A personally because I think a lot more people that aren't aware of Trek, you say Tuvix, and they might go, what the hell are you talking about?
For sure. But then Trials and Tribulations, they wouldn't know that. Non-Trek fans for sure.
Yeah, but it's got the iconic TOS-ness. Everybody knows the TOS look, whether you watch Star Trek or not.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a looking iconic versus zeitgeist iconic. I mean, go with A, but it's certainly higher than Alan Moraine in terms of like you'll discuss this for the fun of it. We all ignore Alan Moraine. That's why it's iconic, right? But yeah, I'd say this is right up there for A in terms of like. I mean, this is kind of close in a sense to the Cisco episode that's on the S in terms of amount of discussion about it. It's that ethically charged for that iconicness.
In the pale moonlight.
In the pale moonlight, I'd say it's really comparable.
All right, I'll put it at S.
I mean, it's right on. I mean, I agree, it's right on that line. But I think, it also depends what sort of Trek fans they actually talk to. But we've had some very, yeah.
Yeah, and people are like, I can't believe your opinions on that. It's like, well, I can't believe yours. What do you want to do about it? Like,
yes.
Save two people. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yes.
All right, but let's get into today's super chats. We're all caught up now from last time. Classic for real, $20. Ooh, thank you. Let's start this off right with a big super chat for the most iconic episode of the franchise, the 4th episode of the 2nd season of TNG, an episode they've talked about to this day, and surely will be an S tier anyway. The Outrageous Okona.
Okona Matata. Yes.
I don't think it's iconic at all, honestly. But it did show up in Lower Decks. He shows up in Prodigy. Mm-hmm. There's that going for it. It's a memorable character for sure. But the episode is just Romeo and Juliet, essentially, space.
It's pretty iconic.
And it's not. It's one that when it comes on, I'm like, ugh. At least Bill Campbell's like entertaining. But other than that, it's not much going on. And, well, pretty transporter officer. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think iconic. I don't think it's very high up there.
That's why I picked this shot. This is iconic. His introduction and meeting this famous actress.
Terry Hatcher, yeah.
The rest of the episode is a thing that you saw and enjoyed. Doesn't make it iconic, right? Yeah, this is a funny one. It's actually a way more legacy than a lot of these episodes because he's come back now 3 times. 4 times?
Yeah.
Possibly 4 times. 3 or 4 times in Trek. Which is kind of weird.
Once in Lower Decks as a DJ and then Prodigy, but he showed up
twice.
Season after, yeah.
So I think it's 4 times overall. But great performance. Han Solo, but not. Like, I think if you, and this is obviously me extemporizing a little bit, if you said top 20 guest stars of TNG, he would be on that list, I would think, or his guest characters. You won't remember his name, but you remember his character. I would think in the top 20 he's that memorable, but not for his episode, but for his overall look and vibe. Fair?
Yeah, I would say so.
But that's not the episode, that's him. It's fun though. I will say D in the logic. I was
thinking D.
That Kugel kind of showed up, so has had more zeitgeist. as in has had more than the one episode, as has Okona Matata. And I'm sure Moops will show up in season 2 of Prodigy or something. Low Decks. the next one, sure, fuck it, right? Might as well. But I think this should be past F. I think this serves a very respectable D. Because I think there is something to this that goes beyond an average episode. But that's it. I showed you it. That's still.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Next up is Olivia Julia.
I just want to write in the chat. It is a very TOS episode, but on a different ship.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I think actually works well for it. It just doesn't necessarily bring enough of the... Like, if this was a Season 7 TNG or a Season 5, it would just be elevated to a TNG episode, but it's a really solid TOS TNG episode without the elevation of other things, which would have been nice, I think.
Yeah. And Brent, yes, Bill Campbell is the Rocketeer. It's the only other thing I really know him from, but I love the Rocketeer, so...
You do?
All right, so Olivia Julius, $5, the game.
Now that's a very interesting question. That's a really good shout.
It's funny because there was a guy walking around with the cosplay of the game on his face at STLV. I don't know if you saw him. No. He was wearing a blue bathrobe and he had like this board and these. Yeah, it was pretty great.
I was thinking the actual this being the full like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the thing is with this one, the most memorable thing for me from this is Robin Leffler, played by Ashley Judd. And her and Wesley, their relationship.
Believable romance.
Yeah, some weird acting in this one from everybody, but I mean that's kind of the point.
Yes.
And the visual, of course, you can't get past that. You see that, you know what it is as a Trek fan. It's like, oh yeah, these cones that gobble up these circles, and you just let it happen.
And that's it. That's the visual.
Yeah. It's pretty iconic in that regard. But I enjoy watching this episode just for Ashley Judd or Robin Leffler. But I don't know. I don't have anything else to say.
Well, this has definitely gone beyond the zeitgeist of an episode because this is memorable.
Yes.
I feel like this certainly is really only Trek fans would get this reference. But if you showed this to any Trek fan, it's likely they've seen it in some social media, some episode, some rewatch. This will stand out to most Trek fans, even if they haven't seen TNG, because this is quite a classic visual. Fair to say?
Oh, yes. We got to bump up classic for reals because he said he wanted it to be S tier. That's why he put in 20.
I see.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15. We can only get it to A tier. According to the rules.
Yes.
Because $5 for this episode suggestion,
yes,
and then $5 for each tier. We put it at D. It can only go to A. Classic.
I mean, we don't make the rules.
Well, we do, kind of. Anyway, so where do you think this one fits?
But like I said, would you agree that most Trek fans would know this visual, if not necessarily the episode specifically?
Yes. I think a lot of fans know the visual and about the game, but I don't think they necessarily remember to connect it to Wesley and Robin Leffler's storyline necessarily.
Which is sad, because I think that's a really solid episode, and it's one of Wesley's best, and it's one of his last. But I think it should get a very low B, because I think this visual is more zeitgeisty than anything in C. But I would not class as high as a lot of stuff in B, but I think it does just get there. Yeah. And you know, this was in low Dex.
You said B or A?
I said B.
B, yeah.
Yeah, I think I said low B, because it was in Prodigy, it was in Lower Decks.
Yeah.
So it got past that, but and also the joke is that this is such a lo-fi, hi-fi graphic. If I put that in a fan film, identical, and a non-Trek fan wouldn't think anything of it. But, that's a cool video game. It's weird, but it's cool. Right? It's so like its own thing. So yeah. Yeah, good shout.
All right, tab extra.
Dean, good to see you.
50 krona. Good Shepherd from Voyager. Janeway takes whatever in crew from the lower deck.
Boy, hard one to get a picture of. Because a lot of the same sort of stuff, and yeah.
Good Shepherd. Okay, what happens in this?
Okay, so Good Shepherd is when this is their low decks episode, literally and figuratively, where they have a problem that needs to be solved, and the people there's a crew member down below, literally the bottom deck of the ship, and you see a great zoom in of literally the bottom of the ship, this like sub corridor, and she doesn't really even know the names of the officers, which is funny because like 140 people, she should know everybody, but whatever. There's like 5 people that work in there. One's a hypochondriac, one's a antisocial, loves being the last bit. Like literally, he's in like the bit that controls the landing legs. Like he's in that zone, and then she's like, we have to be team building, part of the crew. So she takes my Delta Flyer to this magic place with the anomaly rock things, and ends up being a huge problem and almost kills them and blah blah blah. Pretty decent episode. Really weird vibe. Really weird vibe because it's kind of meant to, right?
Not iconic, though, I don't think. I honestly don't think it's iconic. I don't remember much of the episode. I do remember some of the Lord Dex visuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, because they're so unusual, yeah.
Even looking at this image, I don't remember what the problem is they ran into or how they solved it.
It's like a space anomaly that hits the ship and then goes into one of them, the hypochondriac guy, which is the weird thing, and then the scaredy cat man goes to like an escape pod, and they invent an escape pod in Delta Flyer despite not having physical space to, but okay. Cool beans.
Yeah.
Great. No, I sadly it's not iconic at all, and it's not even a particularly good Voyager episode. I get what they're going for, but it took too dark an approach for me personally. But it's interesting. I just don't like the idea that Jamie wouldn't know her entire crew. You don't need to know them all, but stranded. Certainly, if I was stranded in Delta Quadrant, and after the first 6 months, I'd say, yeah, we could be here a while. I'm gonna have lunch with everybody. I'm just going to make that happen. So that's not good. It doesn't make it look good. Humanizes, of course, but that's just me. So I would say happy F, unfortunately. Yeah. Fortunately.
A happy little F.
Yeah.
There are no accidents, just happy little Fs. All right. Classic for real, $20 again. Thank you.
Amazing.
Another big super chat for another extremely iconic and memorable episode, the most memorable episode of Voyager, the 23rd episode of the 5th season, an episode people talk about to this day about its iconic action and relevance.
100%.
Oh, fuck. What's this one called?
Great start!
No, it's a stupid fucking name.
I don't remember.
It's absolutely an F.
But it's iconic because Janeway's not playing Catherine Janeway for basically all of it, and there's a tower that they're building or some shit.
Yeah, what's it called again?
I don't know. I know it's the Millennium Tower or Millennium something or other. I remember that.
5th season. Hold on.
Hey, William J's here. Good to see you.
Yes, he is.
Well done for your Klingonness, as I said last night.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him, and then I saw his name in the credits, and I went back and watched again and said, "Hey, he is in there. That's my boy." 11:59. That's why I couldn't fucking remember it. God damn it. What a stupid name.
I don't really like this episode personally.
No, it's absolute dog shit.
I get what they're doing, and it's certainly a palate cleanser.
But we have to bump it up.
Those are my comments. So I would have said an F.
Oh, it's an F.
Yeah.
But we have to bump it up to B because of the other money that he put in for that super chat. Which is sad. Did you freeze? You didn't freeze.
No.
I think it's one of the worst episodes. 100% agree with you, Dan. Just stupid fucking episode. Anyway, Olivia, $2 into a Mirror Darkly. Yes. Well, see, we're including Mirror Universe. We're including the Tholian Web, the TOS Defiance. A whole bunch of stuff's going on here, and I think for our Star Trek fans, this is absolutely iconic. I don't think it reaches the status, though, of Trials and Tribulations, because that's a cultural zeitgeist kind of deal, because Trouble with Tribbles is one of the most iconic TOS episodes. A lot of people know what a goddamn Tribble is, whether they like Star Trek or not. And I think more people probably tuned in to watch Trials and Tribulations than Into Mirror Darkly, because the best parts of Into Mirror Darkly are part 2, honestly. The end of part 1 and part 2. But I don't know where I'd put this on the iconic meter.
Well, okay. 2 words. T'Pol's midriff.
Oh, yes.
Another 2 words, Hoshi's dressing gown, silk gown.
Nah.
Another 2 words, amazing ending. That is a super excellent last few seconds that are such a curveball that really give you a good vibe. Another few words, the intro with Cochrane. These 2-parter is filled with iconic moments that go beyond an average episode, and are talked about in the fandom, and blew us all away, and are surprising, and the TOS, and the new corridor, and the new Gorn, and Archer's haircut, and Mayweather not saying anything, being really good in not saying anything, Trip's custom eye makeup thingy, fighting Tholian, killing the Tholian, that's cool. First agony booth, first agonizer. No, this should be an S because there's so like Trials and Tribulations has so many iconic things that are just like that's memorable, that's talked about. You know, like I said, first CG Tholian, first CG Gorn. We talk about that as like and you always say, Stuart, you can make TOS look modern because of this episode. So that is a debate we hear all the time, and that makes it beyond a lot of iconic. You don't look at Trials and Tribulations and say, look, TOS can look modern. That doesn't look or feel modern. That look and feels okay. This looks and feels modern. So no, this should be an S for that one thing alone, as I just debated myself into.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek. Just wasn't sure I would quite put it at an S.
For very specific reasons, but yes.
But yeah, I'll do it. It's fine.
Sorry, I had a lot of good thoughts there. All wrapped into one. Yeah.
Although, just that you said the ending with Empress Sato, and it's like, okay, next week I just wanted to see a continuation of that instead of going back to fucking Enterprise, though, please, because that was so much better. But whatever.
It would have been, if that had been a 3-parter, our souls would have exploded in happiness. Maybe, I don't know. It was a good time.
All right, so tab extra. Wait a minute, where the hell are we here? Yeah. Tab extra, 50 krona. Little green men, when Quark, Rom, and Nog traveled back in time to Roswell. Yeah, this is absolutely
just
amazing.
Talked about it a good amount.
This is one of my favorite episodes of all of Trek, and definitely of Deep Space Nine, because it includes my love of history and aliens and Roswell and all that, and makes it so like I can see how reports of this getting out could have generated the stories that we got and the craziness around aliens. Absolutely. Plus, it ties in also past tense with don't you think this Gabriel Bell looks like Cisco? All humans look alike. Just friggin' great. As far as iconicness goes, I think it's high on the list. I don't think it hits S tier for me. It's one of those ones that you could show somebody that's not a huge Star Trek fan, and they might not know. Well, they'll know what series it's from because of the Ferengi, I guess. But there's a decided lack of Deep Space Nine or Starfleet Academy or Starfleet headquarters on Earth because you never see it. You only see Earth from orbit, and there's no space dock or anything either. I want to put it really high because I love this episode, but I don't know iconic-wise how high it should be. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
So this one
Chemosite.
So this one is funny. This is iconic for the concept and the hitting your ear with your hand. Not for the actual scenes in it, just the concept and that scene. I couldn't tell you the episode, what happens in it in the sub-episode. I couldn't tell you. I've seen it a few times. It's all the same good joke, right? The concept's iconic, not the episode itself, I think. Although I do like the fact that the start starts with him, like his brother sells him a shuttle to kill him, whatever. That's funny, but that's not iconic, it's just funny. So I think it's good until you realise, but what actually happens in it, not quite sure. How do they get out? Not quite sure. I actually forgot Odo was in it, I skimmed.
Yeah, he's the dog.
Yeah, but that's not why I remember the episode. It's just them being in the past and them being the Roswell aliens. If you haven't seen DS9, this wouldn't even hit your radar. Except maybe just seeing... Oh, there's some Ferengi in the past, but this wouldn't hit for you. So I think this is iconic DS9, not iconic Trek. So I would say C for this, personally, because I think has a visual, which is cool. But around it, it's not quite there.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Which is funny because a lot of see is a visual which is iconic, but not the episode, like the Borg, like the. That's interesting, really interesting.
And one of the very interesting facts about this is there's the 4 or 5 star general. I forget how many stars he has. Anyway, he's like a warmongering general with like a cigar. He was also in TOS. He was in The Way to Eden. He played one of the hippies. So both ends of the spectrum, like peace-loving hippie to warmongering general. I think it's just fantastic. So just want to point that out. Not a lot of people know that necessarily, but it's a fun little fact.
Well, he doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But it shows how actually close together TOS and not TOS were. That you can literally pull the actor back and have him not like feel like an old guy, older, but not an old guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Benjamin Stone, £5. DS9 Duet, just for Harris Yolan's performance as a remorseful Cardassian. Have you guys done a viewer's choice tier list for cameos? We haven't, but we will add it to the idea list.
I actually love that. That's great. Or guest stars.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Bring to front. Yeah, fantastic episode and well written, beautifully acted. Again, stellar just television storytelling. Not one of my favorite episodes. I do appreciate it for what it's doing, but I don't think there's much Star Trek-y iconicness about it. It's just a good dramatic story. So this is the same thing that happens when I talk about Inner Light or City on the Edge of Forever or The City on the Edge of the River, whatever, if you're an idiot. Anyway, it's good. It's well done, very well performed, well written. It's fantastic. It's a great story, but you can take it out of Star Trek, take all the Star Trekiness away from it, make it about a German and,
Be a great BSG episode with a side on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just fantastic storytelling done very well in a Star Trek skin, but you can take the Star Trek skin off it and still be it's just as good. So,
okay, I'm gonna be a racist for a second.
Okay,
small speciesist.
So.
I think fans like me get confused between the different Cardassian amazing guest stars. Is this guy Kira's dad? No. I look at him, I think, is it because there's so many good one-off male Cardassian guys who come in who have the same look.
They all look like what he's saying.
I mean, there's slightly podgy males with the same haircut, the same skin color, the same vibe. So if you told me still this guy, I would not know which one it was, and that's a bad thing because he is not iconic. The look, right? Sorry, the episode is fantastic. It's not very iconic. I would say F, as sad as that is, it doesn't do any visuals that raise above iconic. In DS9, it would be higher, but you compare it to, like, say, the Kira DS9, where she's become Cardassian, that's way more iconic for all the reasons. So, Yeah, this would be on a top list for best DS9 episodes for a lot of people, not necessarily me. Yeah, no ships or tech, but writing-wise, yes. And a great twist, of course. Yes. So... But yeah, F tier for being iconic, I think. Yeah, guys. I mean, great. Good suggestions, but yeah, tricky. At least to us. If you're only a DS9 fans, we're probably much higher. Yes, and you can bump it up if you really want, because Classic for Real bumped up a bunch of ones that definitely don't belong where they are, but if you think it should be higher, you can do that. You guys have the power. Trill18 throws in €2 and says, "Hey guys, greetings from Finland." Well, thank you, Trill. We appreciate that. Hello, hello. Greetings from Canada and the UK. Hello, UK says hello. Tab Extra, 50 krona. Who watches the Watchers? TNG. Proto-Vulcan humanoids believe Kirk is God. S tier Trek. Oh, yes, that one I got up, but I went talk to you about the next thing next. Hold on. We'll get that up in just a second. Hit that like button if you're just joining us, everybody. We have 41 people watching and 38 likes. Let's get those likes up to 50 if we can. If you haven't hit like yet, please do so. We'd appreciate it. And some great ideas as well so far. Really enjoying the discussion. Yes, yes. And this is a funny one because for Mintaka. Me... Mintaka 3. Yes, well, you know that, right? Yeah. This for me is iconic for one reason in particular, not a good reason, but that in the olden days, as I'm sure you'll remember being older than me, when we had very few TV ways of watching anything, the Star Trek Encyclopedia had a set of clips that you could play that was part of the collection, and you could trigger them. And one of them was yelling at Data, and then the bow and arrow, and then, or no, and then she gets shot with the bow. And I remember that 7-second clip, because we watched it as a thing, as part of the collection. So that moment for me is truly iconic. But that is an entirely biased, stupidly ridiculous, silly thing to say in that context. But it's there for me. Now you can give your thoughts, Joe. Just wanted to throw that as a funny,
No, this is the epitome of what Star Trek's about. Essentially, like, I love Picard's stance on it. Like, I am not a god. I mean, less scrupulous people or organizations could go in and manipulate these people. And maybe that's happened before in the past on Earth. I don't know. But anyway, it's interesting to think about. And even after him trying to convince them, the fact that he's got all these magical powers as they see it, still people aren't convinced.
Although not the butt of Ardra, who's a bit stronger.
And he almost dies as a result of it. I think this is a super iconic as far as that goes, and I love I love the way this whole episode plays out. I just love the dialogue. I love the way people react to things. I think it's really well done. I really enjoy the hell out of it. I think it should be higher on the list. So yeah, I think it is iconic for multiple reasons. The fact that I know it's been Taka 3 as well. But yeah, there you go. Not gods.
Yeah, and this one of those is iconic for us. But, right? But it's also quite an unusual one that it's a very successful location shoot one. I remember those being quite good. First Duck Blind. Yeah. First Duck Blind, but low-key Duck Blind. Is this the only time we see Proto-Vulcans or alternate Vulcans?
I don't know.
I feel like it is. So that's quite unusual by itself to see the context of like, I would say D, but that's just some personal bias. I don't think it really zeitgeisted well beyond that.
I'd put it at a B personally.
Okay, what visuals and moments are like the moment of icon that raised it above?
The Picard. Stand up. I'm not a god. Like stuff like that. I think.
Yeah.
I'll
go to a C. Meet in the middle.
Make it a C. Sure.
Okay. So like as soon as you said it, I remember that moment, but it didn't strike out as a moment. Yeah, because it's such a gentle paced one, It's very low key and it's good quality.
But I absolutely adore this episode. I love watching it.
Yeah, no, it's great. A very worthwhile piece.
All right, Dean Badger, $10. Been a while since I've been able to catch you live. Not really iconic, but Equinox episodes.
That's not iconic. I think it's pretty iconic. In the sense,
talk about it then.
It's iconic in the sense of you hear this all the time from Trek fans saying, just like Year of Hell, Equinox what Voyager should have been. And that's a common insult, that it should have been this run-down, damaged crew with a damaged ship. So that breaks the 7-season zeitgeist of Voyager. You always hear that from people. That annoys the hell out of me. Plus, it's iconic that Janeway goes to murder degree. She goes to her breaking point. That's very rarely done. So that's iconic. Having John, the other actor I can't remember the name of, if they don't know him, he's an iconic actor and he's tremendous in it. The BLT is fun. The aliens, I think, are quite iconic. The way they kill people. It's a very good cold open. The way it burns their faces. They put a lot of money into this episode, and you can really feel it in the effects. The level of effects still hold up really well today. So there's a lot of really high quality stuff, and this ending's great. As I used it, this kind of we're friends with. These are our other. It's iconic. The one other Starfleet ship in Delta Quadrant. That's it. That's iconic for that reason, right? I guess technically Raven, but meh. And then at the end, it's like Janeway was gonna die. I think she's actually slightly hit or something, and having the noise and the little it's like, no, we're gonna kill him. Like that visual, that sense of dread, I still remember today. So I think it's plenty iconic for many small reasons.
I think it's iconic because of the hope that it gave me when I was watching Voyager of, oh my God, there's another Starfleet ship. We're going to see these two working together now. This is going to be great. Plus, look at that new design, that Nova class. That's awesome. So for me, it's iconic for those reasons, just the premise of what could have been, but then to have everything go to shit essentially, and then not have. I would have loved to see both of these guys cruising together for like a season or so. I think that would have added to the show, but it's fine that they did it in 2 episodes. But yeah, I think it is iconic in the realm of Voyager, absolutely, and Star Trek in general. But I'd probably only give it A at best.
Yeah, because I think certainly you're super right. The other episode of the Starfleet ship in a show with only one Starfleet ship, that's got to get icon. I think it serves a low to mid A because there's so many things people talk about. Even if not one is the zeitgeistable top tier. But there's a lot of elements here that you know, is that one of a kind Voyager experience sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how cool would it have been to have both of those ships cruising around for a while?
Yeah.
Like Prodigy Season 2 type vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same goddamn corridors and such, and the bridge is, you know, they had it. It's not as if they had to destroy it for any particular reason. They had the stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Dean Badger.
But I do think you could argue it's a B if you're not a Voyager fan, and therefore those zeitgeists are talking about how it should have been this and that. You know.
Yes.
But when you go into the Trek fandom, most people have seen Voyager as well, and therefore blah blah. Yes, there you go.
What he said.
Yes.
All right. Dan Ben, £2. TOS Balance of Terror. I mean, as far as TOS goes, yes, this definitely comes up a lot. Introduction to the Romulans, the Romulan ship design, the ability to cloak. Haven't played Mark Leonard, who played Sarek as well. Great. A submarine story. It's essentially World War II submarine story, but in space. I think done really well. They did make it a little too submarine-y in spots with the technology and stuff. Like the phaser coolant thing, whatever. But honestly, yes, it is iconic as far as TOS goes, 100%. So, it's just a good war story. I don't know.
Yes, it's iconic, but I think a lot of it is for quality of storytelling, because we can't anymore relate to it being the first this story, the first that story, right? It's so we're almost no one, almost no. No, okay, it's a lot of TOS fans. Okay, a large proportion of the Trek fandom, this is not their first Romulan story, or their first Cloak story, or the first Mark Lennon story. So it's a different zeitgeist to us as it does to them. Not a bad thing, but the impact is slightly different to most Trek fans nowadays because more of them were born after it. But as a performance, super definitive. Iconic. Oh, it's so hard to. Because that's the thing. I've sort of added a little bit of the past the Trekness. Like Doomsday Machine goes beyond Trekness to city visuals, right? This doesn't quite do as many of those, but it's still lots. I would say an A. I think it's missing the extra secret sauce that some TOS need to get to S. But there's not a complaint on it. Oh yeah, I feel guilty for that one. That's yeah.
I was sort of thinking A myself.
Yeah. It feels dirty to say, but yeah.
A little bit. There we go. I feel better now. Olivia Julius, $5. Disco Season 2, Episode 9. I have no idea what that's about. What is it about? Do you know? Did you find out in your looking for the thumbnail?
Sorry, say again?
What the fuck is this episode
about?
about?
This is the Arium death episode.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the one where they find the Section 31 starbase. It's in control of Control.
Yeah.
And Arium sacrifices herself at the end.
Oh, so sad. We knew her so well before that. It's not iconic.
Well, it's iconic in that it's the one that she dies that we all think is dumb.
Yes.
That zeitgeist's past it. It's the episode where we thought, oh, this is meant to be a character? I thought it was an extra. Like, that was the conversation we all had. And when we joked, because we reviewed this, we were there, is this meant to be a real story? Are they really supposed to care?
Yeah, they start off by showing all these, like, relationships she has with people, and it's like, oh, yeah, so she's going to die in this episode.
Yeah.
Because she's such a good friend. Yay!
Yeah. But also having the hand-to-hand fight with Control, the AI, where we joked about sentient AI, this is a big one where it's like, no, the stupid base. Like, this is actually iconic for all the dumb reasons that we as a review base, there's a lot of dumb in this. A proper lot of dumb. It's one of the more dumb ones. Yeah. I would say a D, because I think it goes into that realm of dumb zeitgeist that gets it past forgettable, who cares? Because who the hell is this lady? But you're meant to know because there's a zeitgeist of who the hell is this woman? There's a zeitgeist there.
And after this, I know before this, the actress that originally played Arium was playing the other chick.
Whichever.
Whatever. It's fine. I'm fine with the D.
You are fine with the D, yes.
Yes. Olivia Julius, $5. Strange New Worlds version of Balance of Terror. So, something of mercy. Can't remember. No, one of the best episodes of Strange New Worlds for sure.
Yes, by substantial, yeah.
But why, in the name of, did you change the monster maroon? Just because you wanted to, okay? Well, you didn't have to because it looks like looks so awful, so lazy. Anyway, no, great episode. As far as iconicness goes, I'm sure down the road it'll be iconic. It is remembered for being one of the best episodes of Strange New Worlds right now. It hasn't had enough time to marinate, I think, to be iconic in its iconicness. But yes, very well told, alternate kind of telling of what happens.
Yeah,
time travel.
This is such a tricky one to do because quality of episode does not determine legendary factor, as has been determined. We love this one, and it was a frickin' surprise when it was like a 72-minute episode. It's like, excuse me? It was almost feature length, which is crazy. But interestingly, I have not thought about this episode since season 1. You know,
Same.
And that's odd because it's great, but season 2 came and went. Season 3 is coming, and I'm like, oh yeah, this thing happened. But I remember
and they got renewed for season 4, just so you know.
Yeah, well, indeed. Now, this episode I've been reminded about because cosplayers love it because they get Monster Maroon. Even it's worse in every possible way. This uniform was worse. Like they absolutely, it's ridiculous what they did. They could have used written whatever. So that is remembered for this and the zeitgeist it has left on the fan community of having to get this uniform from Cosmart. So cool for them. But unfortunately, as I skimmed it, it's super dark. So the visuals are really boring because it's super dark. You don't remember much of it. The Klingon captain was great, but not memorable in the grander sense. The ship battle was okay, but it's invisible, right? By definition, it's not memorable. And even the end twist with the Praetor and the fleet, it's okay. The ships aren't very good. They're fine. But this is memorable for being, why did you ruin the Monster Maroon? But it's a great concept. Had it been just a Monster Maroon, it would have been perfect. But yeah, I haven't thought this episode for a year, at least a solid full year, which is weird. So
neither. Funny did you say that? Neither have I. Let's be honest.
And I've thought of other Stranger Worlds ones, maybe not many, but as a show, weirdly, it's not one I think about much. I mean, Voyager and all that.
We enjoyed the hell out of it at the time. We gave it a high review score.
Super high.
But yeah, I haven't gone back to rewatch it.
I don't feel the need to because I know I liked it and I'm good with what I watched. I see you be the highest I'm willing to go, but it's really just for this visual and the idea of the episode. But I do not think people are going to remember anything in the episode much itself. I think it's just a big fun ride. I would see a very high D, like which is sad, but like the low decks creature. You remember it for this visual and the basic idea. Same with that. Not the episode itself, but the the thing that you see. That's my gut.
That's kind of what I was going with the whole. I don't think it's had time marinate enough to become iconic yet, for me anyway, because I haven't thought about it, honestly. So D it is then.
Yeah. That's a really good one. That's a really interesting one.
No, if it was one of the best episodes of New Trek, then yes, it'd be up higher.
Of New Trek, yes.
Yeah.
Even of Trek, this would be somewhere, right? This would be...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although saying somewhere isn't really a... Yes.
All right. Classic for real, $10. Can only afford $10, but hopefully don't need it for the most iconic episode of the franchise. Episode 11, Season 7 of Deep Space Nine. Absolute game changer. Changed the nature of the Alpha Quadrants. All the way to go. Oh, this is the stupid fucking Ezri's family one.
Yes.
Oh, my brothers don't get along with my mother, and the one brother's a criminal and doing shit behind the back. Yeah,
boy, real hard to find an iconic screen cap from this, and I failed. I just did a shot of her.
I knew what it was before I ever read the super chat.
Good, yeah. Look, I love Ezri, and I commend them for giving a full episode that's actually quite deep for her and her family, with one season to go. Good. This makes sense. I like it. I love seeing Trill people. I love seeing Trill culture, and they're not joined. Great. Is it memorable? No, not at all. But it's a great footnote in DS9 that they did this episode, right?
Yes, with the Dominion War arc going on. You're going to waste an episode on Ezri. Because she's a new character for one season. Let's give her a bit of a backstory.
I mean, she's Bashir's future wife, possibly, and Sisko's best friend, possibly. And there's a few things to her.
It's an F.
It is an F.
But
unfortunately,
his extra $5 bumps it up, unfortunately, to a D.
Okay.
Because that's how Classic for Real rolls.
That is the power, how the super chats, and how how the cookie doth crumble, Stuart.
This is a community ranking, essentially. You guys have input.
Yes.
And you can change these if you really disagree with them. Just saying. We aren't the be-all and end-all.
I'm going to do a poll as well. I just realized.
Yeah, well, there you go. I'm going to tell you guys, hit like 43 people watching, 40 likes. That's amazing. I'd like to get close to 50 if we can. I'm sure a lot of people came in and hit like and left, and then new people came in that haven't hit like yet. So I think we might be able to get to 50. So hit like if you haven't already. Whether you agree with this or not, at least we're making arguments and discussing Trek, and that's fun regardless, right? Absolutely. Thank you. Glad you agree with me. All right, we'll have a poll up here in just a second, but probably in about 23 more, well, 23, half an hour, another 30 minutes or so.
Minutes.
We're going to call it that's the last one at that point, so we don't get backlogged again. But so get your super chats in now for them so we can discuss them before the end of the live.
Mm-hmm.
Be great.
Okay, there we go. Read that poll.
Go vote in the poll. How are you with this list? How close are we to your idea of most legendary? Yep, pretty good. Pretty on point with most. Some don't. Some I don't agree with. Overall, I disagree. What's going on?
I'm interested. I'm interested.
All right, Tab Extra throws in 50 krona. Chain of Command Part 2. Did you do it? Picard interrogated S-Tire.
Sorry, Stuart. You got to talk about this one again.
Hate it. I think Part 1's a way better story, in my opinion. Don't like the torture stuff, although it is supremely well acted, and David Warner does a great job as the Cardassian. So, kudos. Is it iconic, though? I wouldn't say it's iconic. In the realm of Deep Space, or in the realm of TNG, it's definitely one of the more memorable two-parters, I guess. I think it could have been one episode, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really a fan. I like Jellicoe, but a lot of this stuff I could do without, honestly. So there you go.
So, when you say there are 4 lights, everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah.
So this gets an S because it is a fandom-wide zeitgeist that everyone knows, and where it's from, and who it's about, and what the scene is, and why it's important. Everyone knows. And they're great episodes. So, yes. Instant S. Sorry, this is one of those few, like, truly top zeitgeists.
That's fair. I wouldn't have put it there, but hey.
Yeah.
But I see why you're saying that, so I don't have.
He's a legend of content, and as you say, the acting is so good, and it makes you feel so uncomfortable. And Warner, you know him as a Trek fan, like, oh, he's like 4 different iconic characters. That also as a legendary factor, you know it's him again. Yeah, it's a zeitgeist of the top tier.
But I also hate the ending with Picard being like, I almost said it. It's like, bugs me so much.
I think that's probably the point. He would have been the most
absolutely is the point.
Would have been the most incredible DS9 bring back. Probably would have ruined it, but just where the hell do you bring him back to and from? Yeah.
Oh, that would have been, yeah. Would make perfect sense. All right, Dan Ben, £2, TOS Arena, the Gorn. Well, that's absolutely fucking S tier right off the hop. The iconicness of the Gorn image, even people that aren't Star Trek fans know the Gorn, or know that that's from Star Trek, and point out how cheesy it looks, even though it looks pretty good, honestly. And plus, in the realm of Star Trek, this starts off really well, actually, with the planet being bombarded. And then we get to see...
It's slightly cheesy, but it's good slightly cheesy.
And you think Vasquez rocks? You think this. You think of Kirk on one side, Gorn on the other, and Vasquez rocks right behind them. It's absolutely iconic. So, yeah, this is S tier. There's not much discussion here. A lot of people, I think, that aren't Star Trek fans, when they think about Star Trek, think about this. And Kirk, the scenes of Kirk fighting the Gorn.
No, so yeah, exactly same as 4 Lights. This zeitgeist is beyond our fandom. Vasquez rocks itself. The Kirk Fu moment, the twist at the end of having talked to the little box. That's the canon being so ridiculous. There are many iconic moments that are actually iconic within TOS, within Aliens. So this is one of the top tier S's that went so far beyond. I mean, the fact that people will actually buy a Gorn costume, make Shatner
and recreate this.
Exactly. That goes so far. That's probably that might be the top S so far in terms of. But it's also had 60 years, right? It's
marinate.
Yeah, it's a little bit special. So yeah,
maybe Balance of Mercy will leave that way in 60 years.
Balance of Mercy. Yep. Wait, is that what it's called? Or was that a joke?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. But
I don't fucking know. Something Mercy.
But yeah, toppest of the S, absolute right there.
Yeah.
Good shot. Love it.
Kyle Wong, £5, Chain of Command. Yes, with the Rutledge, and the first appearance of Gul Dukat, but not Gul Dukat. Gul Dukat's cousin, Freddie, I guess.
Freddie Dukat.
Freddie Dukat. Again, great story. I love that O'Brien was there to be like a Sir on the Rutledge.
I thought O'Brien was there. Sorry.
No.
I thought you said that. Sorry.
Captain Prescott, I think his name was. Anyway, there is some stupid in it. Like O'Brien wandering into the guy's ready room without anybody on the ship. And yeah, sure, you got through the shields because you just served on the ship. You know the shield, whatever. You got on the ship, but to walk into his ready room and not beam into his ready room, but to walk in with his crew knowing that they're doing this shit and that other Starfleet shit. I don't know. There's some stupid in it, but it's actually a really great episode. Sorry.
So. Yeah, a lot of sort of murder in this one. Just pew and destroy and pew.
Wait a minute. Am I thinking of this? Or am I thinking of the Wounded? This is from the Wounded, I think.
No.
Okay.
No, because I looked and this has got the guy at the end. He goes into the thing, and I was like, should I use that or a shot of the? Is that two? Okay, well I have a Wounded slide, so what do I do for that? Nothing. Or did I skip to that chap's super chat? What am I on? Sorry, is that?
Yeah, and this is supposed to be Chain of Command.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that was the
This was the next one in the lineup, guys. So sorry.
Oh, it wasn't Chain of Command the one we just did with the Jellicoe? Is that Chain of Command? Yeah, so we will review that.
Oh, yeah, the Wounded. That's what I was talking about. All the things I said, but for the Wounded.
Yeah, I was like...
Sorry, I must have misread, because there's two from Kyle Wong, that's why.
No, but we already got two Woundeds in a row. Two Chain of Commands in a row, which is why... And they're both Cardassian. So yeah, the Wounded. Kai was already had Chain of Command, but thank you. Yeah, the Wounded, all the things you said.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's why I'm confused. Sorry.
Wow. Ooh.
Wounded.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, this one's tricky. This is iconic because it's not Ducat and the first Cardassian, and you remember the mutton chops, the weird headband, and the costume. So those are iconic in terms of like,
yeah,
it's like in a similar but not quite the same way. Season 1 TNG with not Quark is iconic because it does its own thing, right? So that's good. But this would have been properly iconic had you seen the space battles that you were listening to. Otherwise, it's a really good talkie, but that would have added a lot to it, I think. But I think iconic though. I'd still give it a D because no one talks about it except a bit, and there's no visual that I would say summarize this one beyond. But I would say a high D. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite get. If they're in a space battle, yes, it would have been a C. So I love his song at the end. I love the acting. Or if it's in another like for example, if it's in another Galaxy class bridge, a la the Nebula class bridge, a slight redress and walked into the ready room with a new crew, that would have been really cool. You know, see a green lit Enterprise D bridge, but whatever. Yes. So yeah, I would still say very high D, doesn't quite get there. And it puts into contrast when the ones are higher that are higher, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Good shout though. That's, again, quality is not determiner of where it places.
Kung F R Cooler puts in €2. Amok Time for teaching us a lot about Vulcans.
60 years.
Light music.
60 years. A lot of time to marinate, as you say.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely iconic for multiple reasons. Get to see Spock over emote when he realizes Kirk isn't dead. Get to see Vulcan for the first time. Kind of learn about their culture and their rituals, and know that his betrothed is a little bit of a bitch, and then have Strange New Worlds come along and be like, "Aw, I like her." Yeah, definitely iconic. Yeah.
I mean, the music alone, Zeitgeist's past. You know, certain elements just win, and the da 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 is super iconic. The acting is great. The concept is great. How shitty, in a good way, the lady is to Pring, and but and the fact that he does slash him, I think, in the back with a thing. And Ponfar that's introduced. It's iconic for lore, but the music and these little fight visuals, they transcend. But I would not be able to tell you much more of the episode per se, but a lot of it really stands out as being iconic. So I think for Trek, I would give it an A, and not quite the S.
Yeah, I would agree.
Cool.
I do like the back and forth of going to Vulcan, not going to Vulcan, going to. I wish they'd make up their mind. That scene is funny.
Yeah, and again, different list, different metric, but S is the secret sauce. This almost has, but for me, not quite.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tricky one to kind of, and you might have disagreed. So I'm glad you didn't. Interesting, we agree on that. I'm voting the poll, guys. I want to know.
All right. General Grievous, $5. Bump up Drumhead. Okay, well, Drumhead goes from a D to a C.
Fair dues. Fair dues.
For all the reasons we talked about last time.
Yes. Huzzah. Huzzah! Yes.
Classic for real, $5. Another bump to Prodigal Daughter, Season 7, Episode 11, Deep Space Nine.
That's the Cardassian and F. I guess.
No.
No?
No. Prodigal Daughter is the one with Kira becomes a Cardassian.
But we haven't got to that yet.
Well, he wants to talk about it.
No, Prodigal Daughter's the Dax one.
Oh.
I just googled it.
Oh, well, that goes up to C, I guess.
Okay.
These scores do not reflect our personal opinions.
Well, mostly.
Trekyard is not responsible for blah, blah, blah,
Any
blah,
insult
blah.
given,
All right. Olivia Julius, $2, The Cage.
This is interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Well, iconic-wise, this is an S tier because it started all the goddamn Star Trek, but didn't.
False stuffed it.
Yeah. Just the fact that this got made, and then they're like, "No, we're not going to go with that, but we're going to give your show another shot." Oh, you don't have your leading actor? You want a new one? Oh, okay, you're going to recreate a new character. Okay, fine. All the things that had to happen for Star Trek to actually become a thing, and then to get canceled, almost canceled after season 2, renewed for another season because of the campaign, and then gets canceled after season 3, and then to come back as a movie to create this franchise. All of that is iconic. So that the fact that this kicked it off, I think, got the Enterprise design, the Matt Jeffries design, spacecraft that people hadn't seen before, not thrusting rockets out the back. There's so much in this that is great. That's my take. It's an S tier.
This one is so tricky because it's not iconic for what it is. It's iconic for what it's done.
Yep.
But what it's done is a big part of what it is. It's a groundwork that is still a darn fine two-parter. Or one part. I think it's a long episode. I think it's like, whatever. But it's damn fine. The acting's pretty good. It's more cerebral, as we know. Hunt is good. Having as many women as there are is good. The alien design's good. The fact they're ladies, old ladies, gives a vibe. The middle's a bit odd with the amount of hallucinations. Doesn't quite connect when they're trying, but budget, but ambition, cool. The big laser's iconic. Vina being young then old, that's pretty iconic. Like you remember the visual. You remember the end where Other Pike walks down and you get a really weird bittersweet ending that's kind of nice but not. That's pretty iconic for Trekdom. The start where Boyce offers him booze. Like, that's iconic in its own, like, you remember it because, like, yeah, he offered him booze. It's like, what?
People walking down the hallways in 1960s clothes because they're off duty.
The iconic pan in the dome, which is a very big, ambitious shot. That's quite iconic.
The girl doing gymnastics out the door.
The shitty view screen, which is absolutely terrible.
Wait a minute. I don't know if that was actually in the case.
Close the circuit!
Yes.
Just Spock. That's a zeitgeist right there. The dumbness of that and how that's... for me,
fax machine on the bridge.
Oh no! For me, the touching the flower and Spock smiling, that again, that was on the CD of the Omni thing, on the that for me is an iconic. It's a great visual. You know, to build that bigger set, those nice costumes, that's a really nice thing. The sound effects are iconic. So it's a lot of mid iconic inside the iconic, but the fact that this will always be known in a unique way does deserve an S tier because it's iconic for starting Star Trek. You cannot give it anything else. It is absolutely iconic. It kind of doesn't matter the quality of the episode. It is iconic because it is a definitively iconic element of iconic. Yes. And Dan's right. It's either the Orion Slave Girls. That's also that's a Zeitgeistian element, you know. So yeah, yeah, for many small and the one big reason it's iconic.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. All right, tab extra 50 krona. Holo Pursuits TNG. First time we watch Holodeck Addiction in Trek. Yes.
This is my iconic moment again from the CD.
Yes. All right, it's a great episode. Yes, Holo Addiction is something we definitely have to deal with, but I don't know if it's super iconic. This image absolutely is.
Okay, let me jump in.
Yeah, please do.
What's odd is that she in the scene this transcends for me at least. And you would think that every other scene with the other them, if pushed this far, would be as iconic. I didn't remember Wesley until I skimmed his little pathetic Wesley. And the first scene with... I sort of remember the fight, but not the specifics. And that's a bad thing, that it's such a visually cool thing, yet doesn't resonate with me in a way that possibly has a preference. But this, just the scene is so much funnier than those ones. But it's I think it's the idea that this represents why he's a problem, that he's sexualizing his chief counselor and everybody he's making pathetic. Like, it's a really phenomenal idea for a story, and it shows holodecks at one of the worst, with implied sex as well, unfortunately, but not a little bit, but still there. So it's a really iconic for, like, you don't see this normally. And Dwight Schultz, is that the guy's name? Really solid performance, as are all the dual roles. But it's this much iconic in a much broader pretty good. Thoughts?
I remember the sword fight. Remember being late for his duty shift because he's on the holodeck.
Yep. I think a high D.
Yeah.
I think it just dips into some icons, but not enough. Yeah. Now, if you were going to ask us to do the Robin Hood episode, that would be one of those similar, but bumped up way higher.
Cupid, yes.
Yeah, he is not a merry man. Is our Worf. So yeah, really interesting, but I'm trying not just to go to personal preference. I'm trying to like think about how the zeitgeist has hit, and yeah, it gets a bit above, but not much.
Yeah.
Now, if you throw us the one, as I'm not saying, but Riker's play, that resonates in a way that's pretty damn iconic. But that's not on this list. It's on the Barclay one. Yeah, Barclay gets super smart, and he's in his play, and he's like wooing.
Yeah.
That also is, I would say, higher for various reasons.
That's the nth degree, I think.
Yeah, that I think is a more iconic, but they're both good, but different things. Yeah. Good shout.
Okay. Next up is Benjamin Stone, 5 pounds. Missed the first part if you covered it. Plato's Stepchildren. It's the one thing people know about Trek if they aren't fans. Well, for the kiss, yeah, but do you remember the plot of that episode, Sam?
I did, even before the skim.
Okay.
Yeah. No, as far as I remember, this is the one where they find the Greek god. No, that's a different one.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they go to a planet and everyone's got telepathic-ish powers. They can make them do things. And there's that wonderful little person who's really good, and he can't do superpowers because he's a little person or because he's whatever. He gets it at the end and he makes them do whatever. And this episode, for me, is iconic because the little person guy's great, and he rides Kirk. He goes, yeah! And they push that to the nth degree, and then of course this is the real zeitgeist. But that's what I
dances and almost crushes Kirk's head.
Yeah, and also I think it plays the harp as well. That's the thing they have genuine. That's one of the first times the harp. But the kiss is the zeitgeist as strong as Gorn for all the different reasons. I mean, this is worldwide, universe-wide. I mean, aliens in space know this is our first interracial kiss. What are the name of the Futurama? The Omicron Persei. Lure.
Yeah.
Even Lure knows. Yeah, it's got. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a decent episode.
Yes, it is.
It's weird, but it's meant to be weird.
Kyle Wong, £5. Renak.
Which is, of course, a fake, which, of course, already got S.
Yes.
But if you want to re-summarize for him.
In the pale moonlight, absolutely S tier. It's personally one of my, if not my favorite episode of Star Trek. Really love it. I love the intrigue and fantastic acting and writing from. Well, fantastic writing and fantastic acting from everybody involved. Yes, awesome episode.
Yeah, I mean, this one out. It's a fake. Is a zeitgeist in itself, as well as the end shot. Those two things are really, really,
Yep.
As long as you act in a certain way, of course. Saying it's a fake doesn't quite work. So saying it's a trap. It's a trap. There you go. Now you zeitgeist.
Yeah. All right. Matthew DeFreitas, $5. The Galileo 7, also just also rewatched recently, and just noticed that the title reflects the name of the ship and the number of people on the ship. Absolutely, yes.
Well, I didn't know on the ship. That's true.
Yes.
I thought that. Yeah.
Huh. This one is good. It's looking for a needle in a haystack, essentially. A lost little ship. They have a deadline because they have a Commodore on board that has. There's political bullshit they got to deal with because they have to get medical supplies to the colony on time, and Kirk pushes it right to the very limit. On the planet, I love the conflicting personality types. They don't think Spock's a good choice for command because doesn't have emotions, and it's a whole thing. The aliens there being giants are kind of silly and stupid, but that's okay. It's what it is. What it is. First time we see the Galileo shuttlecraft, the Type F. Cool. I guess it's iconic for that. But it's good. It's a good episode of TOS, but I don't know if it's iconic in the same way as a lot of these other ones. Yep, that's what I got.
So this one's a personal preference, guilty pleasure, because I love the fact they did this. I guess I'll say it in that frame. They put the effort into building, at the time, a full and good-looking shuttle. Not a small feat. They put it on a soundstage with a relatively effective alien landscape, which they used thoroughly. They have an interior which is like the runabout, where they go throughout it. It feels like a lived-in space in a way that just having the cockpit never did, and that's lovely. Then you have the really, really good Spock against the crew stuff. Is a simplification, but that's what they're going for, which is fun. And you get like the phaser power pack, all that thing. I think the whole, there's loads of things in this that personally I really, really like, and this is so one-off that you've never done in Trek. Like, could you imagine building, or could you imagine, did they? Yeah, like I don't think they ever had a Type 9 shuttle from Voyager, physical exterior prop. Don't think they did. Probably the back somewhere. But like, you imagine. Or like Insurrection, if it's like, right, we need to put the Insurrection shuttle down on the Baku planet. Let's build the entire shuttle in full scale on the planet, and we'll film around it. That would look incredible. In TNG, did they ever move the shuttle in TNG? Or was it always on the soundstage? Don't know if they did ever move it. The shuttle pod they did, but not the shuttle.
No, not the shuttle.
So the same thing. That would look incredible on location. So that's a personal bias. I really like that. And I love For me, it's a really special episode just for what it did. Doesn't mean it's iconic though, and that's where I'm going to leave my end of my statement because I'm not a good judge here because I really like this one for various reasons. You tell me what you think.
I would want to put it at B personally.
Okay.
It's iconic for a few reasons.
Yeah.
Want me to tell you the reasons?
Oh yeah, bring it down.
The last minute grasp at life that Spock does, jettisoning all other fuel in this last ditch effort, that I think that says a lot about Spock's character.
Yeah.
The disagreements with the other personnel because of his emotionlessness. So it's a really good character builder for Spock, this one. And also that visual of the green streak going across the moon is very cool, and seeing like those, and them all thinking they're going to die, burning up as they go into the atmosphere, and then to be beamed out, and then to be like, oh, well, let's get the hell out of here and do the thing. So I think it's iconic. And yeah, first time you see the shuttle, there's multiple reasons, but I don't know if it stands out more than a B.
Yeah, I think this one, it also has this really interesting simpleness of, it's called the Galileo 7. Everyone knows what the episode is, as in if you've seen episode 1, you're like, oh, it's the one with the Galileo 7. Bish bosh, that's iconic for that simple regard. So I'll let you place it, because I think whatever you say, I think you're right on this. But it's yeah. Give it a go.
Alrighty, I'll put it as B for now.
I think B's very fair. Yeah, it's funny because the visual of the shuttle landed doesn't feel iconic, but did that ever happen again on a planet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well there you go. That's why it's maybe not as iconic, but it's not that one-off that we're like, whoa. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Interesting.
Olivia, $5. Voyager, the one where Barclay contacts Voyager for the first time.
Pathfinder. I knew that without having to Google, which I appreciate.
Yes, again, that iconic for Voyager, absolutely. In the realm of Star Trek, here it crosses over Barclay, TNG,
and Troy.
And Troy with Voyager, yeah. Again, it's that hope of, oh my God, they actually have made contact now. People know they're alive. Because that was the whole thing for the first couple seasons. The Voyager just disappeared. They didn't know what happened to it. And so to be able to establish communication like this and actually be able to kind of talk to them, I think for me, when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. They're going to have like a lifeline now, at least, to have help to get home from the other end. So there was a lot in this one that I like.
So this is tricky because I want to be fair to it, like I was with the Ferengi, Magnificent Ferengi, and the Roswell. This is iconic for Voyager fans, yes.
Yes.
That does not equate necessarily to all of Trek. Now, the fact, as you say, the fact that it is the point when we make contact with home, that is iconic. But you could easily miss it and not even know it happened, and not be okay to have missed it, right? There isn't this giant firework moment when, as I joked about a second ago, with like the Equinox being for a whole season. There's no like season-long come back to Earth as they build up this work relationship, which would have been really cool, right? There isn't that, so you easily miss it. I would get that, right? Fine. That said, I love this one for a few reasons. A, Troy's excellent in it. She's really good out of TNG. She's really good. Barclay's excellent in it. He really comes into his own. I love the fact that the meta logic is super strong here, meaning they only know Voyager as they lost it. So everyone's in their original uniform and hair. So the Marquis are wearing the Marquis clothes. So everyone gets to be back to season 1 version, along with then Barclay in First Contact. So it's a really nice mix of logical canon, which is just there by nature of the logic of the scene, which I love. I love seeing Barclay use a holodeck as a trap ground to get around and use the sets in a way that you don't normally see. That's really fun. Admiral Paris, great cast, great vibe. His friend, great cast, great vibe. Pathfinder, great idea, greatly executed. All this personal preference, right? This is not necessarily what's iconic in it, because what is iconic in it is Barclays and Voyager. It's actually happened like 4 times, right? So I'm very torn on this. I don't think it's that iconic, even though it should be. It isn't really. Yeah, I think probably more iconic is the one where Barclay comes back and the Ferengi are in it and they burn through a sun and he's... That, I think, is more iconic, even though it's not as important, but it's more iconic because of the fun that happens in it. Oh, I think...
I would agree with that, yes, absolutely.
But this is more iconic for, like, the moment, right? Only a D. I think it should...
I was going to say D.
Yeah. Ah. I feel sorry. I think that's fair, though. Ah. Yeah. I should rewatch this one, though. Because it's fun to start on Earth at his apartment. That's super, super unusual.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kyle Wong throws in 10 euros. Sorry. Yes, those 10 pounds. Sorry. The one where a farm boy on a desert planet meets a space wizard and saves a girl in the galaxy with the help of a space pirate and a Bigfoot.
Pretty iconic.
Yeah, that's fucking S tier right there. But for Star Trek,
yeah, how iconic is it in Star Trek? Yeah, huh? Of all the Star Trek episodes, when do you ever think of A New Hope?
We're just gonna put that right there.
No, actually, no. Put it the other side of S, because it is iconic. Just off the scale. There we go.
Put it up there.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna slowly float itself up.
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 The chart.
Up.
Yeah.
Up.
God. I mean, it'd be a great Star Trek episode. Except the speed of plot. That is a problem in that episode for sure. But yeah, I mean, you know, hey, it's just a double S is above S definitionally.
Sure. That's it. 4 more likes, guys. Let's get up to 50 likes if we can. 4 more if you haven't hit like yet. 24 votes on the poll right now. Go vote. We'd like to get those numbers a little higher.
Oh yeah, guys, yeah.
But right now, yeah, 50%. Some I don't agree with. To how close our chart is. So
that's probably a win because to have 50% agree with you is a success, right?
Great success.
And this is fun, guys. I like this. This is a fun debate, and you know, and again, not many people putting Discovery. No Picard yet, and there is no Prodigy or no Lower Deck. There's one Lower Deck. Wow. I mean, there are obviously better options, but yeah, interesting.
No short treks.
Oh no, sorry, I was saying no very short treks.
Yeah.
I mean, the snot everywhere is quite iconic, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite iconic.
General Grievous, $5. Trouble with Tribbles, classic iconic TOS episode that spawned many references and Easter eggs in Star Trek and DS9 crossover. Yeah, as we talked about with Trials and Tribulations, Tribbles are known by everybody.
Yeah.
Much. And yes, this is a very lighthearted TOS episode. We got Klingons on a station, and yeah, definitely one of the absolute best of TOS, but more of a lighthearted yet kind of serious vibe. I don't know. Iconic-wise, though, a lot of people know about Tribbles. So even non-Star Trek fans kind of know about this episode.
This is an interesting one, yeah. Because even this falling onto his head moment, I wouldn't say goes that far beyond to iconicness. Like, it's no Gorn. It's no Doomsday Machine. Because they say that's a silly sock puppet, right? Now, the Tribble concept, that does, obviously. But in this episode, he sits on the Tribble. That's sort of iconic. I love Scotty walking in with the hands filled and you can see his lack of finger. But that is iconic. It's fun. Certainly Chekhov and her with the Tribble fun. Wouldn't say it's iconic. The fight is semi-iconic. No, Haldware's garbage. That's iconic.
Yeah.
That's an iconic thing that goes beyond just because it's a really well done thing and the fight. So that I think is going to be iconic. The music's very good. I was going to give this an S, but I don't know if I just because of the tribble idea. I don't know if that's strong enough.
I'd say A.
I think yeah. Wow.
I think the Gorn is way more iconic.
Yeah. Oh my
and
god.
Yet
yeah.
not. More people know about cute little fuzzy balls that are tribbles, but when you think of sci-fi, people think of the Gorn instantly.
Yeah.
So it's one of these. It's It's a tough one.
Yeah. No, I think A. I think it doesn't. Something about it, which is interesting that DS9 is there, but that zeitgeist on the zeitgeist with its own zeitgeist of being that's its own, yeah, because it does go beyond. Because I'm trying to think to the scenes of the Trials and Tribulations, or Trials and Tribbles, and it's quite a slow, gentle episode that's fun. But if you put half those scenes in DS9 and then add in good DS9 scenes, you'd actually get a better episode almost, because you get to enjoy best of both worlds. Haha, which has not been on here. Yeah, I'm really happy to put that. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Olivia Julius, $5. Dodo, you find this episode of Trekyards as iconic? Is it S tier? Hit like and tell us how much you love us. I think she just meant, do you find this episode? But yes, hit like.
So Stuart, so this episode of Trekyards, how iconic would you say it for all Trek?
I have no comment.
You have no comment? We will in a second.
Dear God. No. We're talking about iconic Star Trek, so there you go. It's iconic, I guess, I suppose. I don't know, maybe, sure.
I mean, it should be an F. Probably a low F.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put that as an F. There.
It's kind of nice to be on the board, though. What is good? It's kind of fun. Thank you. It's kind of fun.
Right. Olivia, $5. Picard season 2, episode 6. Do you remember what happened? Neither do I.
It is called 2 of 1. Yes, Jurati in the red dress, with the Borg Queen talking to her.
Oh, I remember the red dress.
And Rios forgets all about his ice imprisonment. Now he wants to hang out and he loves this era, which makes no sense. And then Data does a nonsensical speech. And then she sings, and then...
It's S tier just for the red dress.
And she talks to Renee, and then... she finds out she's a clone. Is Soji a clone? Do we care? Was she a clone? Augment clone? I don't remember. It's not a good season. We just watched it, 2 years ago? I could not tell you the main plot line.
Is this the one where Patrick Stewart gets hit by a car? Yes. Probably.
Well, after it's more iconic.
It's an F, but my God.
Are those Fs? No.
I don't know what size those would be, but
don't do that, Stuart. Be serious. Include the face, please. Be serious. We're a serious channel.
Oh, there you go. All right, F tier.
Yeah, F tier. It's not. I mean, there's a little bit that maybe the D, because the singing is stupid. But there's so little. The next one I'd say, but Boltar is more iconic because there's a lot more going on.
Boltar.
Sorry, guys, Picard, yeah.
2 more likes to get to 50, guys, because we're closing up here in about 12 minutes. So.
Yes. Great list. Great shout, y'all.
Yeah. All right. Kai L. Wong, £5. Picard season 3, when the crew returns to the Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the representation shot for this.
Picture that I have right there. Yeah, that's what a lot of us felt at that moment.
Yeah, so that
O face.
Yeah, that was tab extra 100 from a few months ago.
Oh,
yeah.
I missed it. Shit. Tab extra 100 krona. Funny that we don't see any new Trek on this list. The only thing that pops up for me is new Trek is Hammer sacrificing herself.
Hence the
wonder.
And people jumped on that and put some new Trek, which is great. Thoughts? Yeah, this is the Alien episode.
The Alien episode.
It is.
What does that mean?
We're Gorn and now aliens.
Oh.
Yeah. On the Syracuse class, which is a colony.
No. The Sombra class. USS Peregrine.
I don't care.
It's the Sombra class.
It is.
Don't. Anyway, yeah. It's
Sorry.
F.
Yeah. Well, no. It's a D because it made them fucking xenomorphs, and that is iconically bad. That is iconically bad. When we realised, oh no, they're doing that. Holy shit! Don't do that. Please don't do it. Damn it, you're double downing. God damn it.
All right. It's D.
Yep. Sorry, that is going to be remembered for a long, long time. And Hemmer's death's okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay, but it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think this last one's our closing, which is a hell of a one to end on.
Yeah.
Although, hold on. Kai, I thought you meant the last episode. Do you mean the 9th or 10th episode? Because those are different experiences. So please clarify right now, because I put in 10.
Oh, he means when they first see the Enterprise.
Okay, because I assume you meant...
I can guarantee it.
Okay, well, to clarify, because like I said, they are different. I'm just going to get a different still, because I thought it was the other one.
Because he has this one where they say goodbye to the Enterprise D.
Well, they spend the most time on that episode, but yes, let us know, because that's...
No, I know exactly what he means.
No,
Kai!
Yeah.
Just get the picture ready, because that's what it is. That moment of, oh my god, it's the Enterprise D. And having all the fucking Elcars like light up.
And all of our pants got tight.
And carpet.
And he clarifies, yeah, yes,
9th episode, yeah.
Stuart, we bring back the D. Which was spoiled for us both, but that's okay. Had it not been, it would have been even cooler. Alright, where does this... Talk. Thanks, Kai.
Great way to end. It is the culmination of a shitty series, but done so well. The final
season. The Picard series, the 3.
Yes. Yes. Bringing us back to TNG. This is how season 1 should have been of Picard. This is what
the end of 3.
It should have been all along. Getting everybody back together. And yeah, it's iconic. Absolutely iconic. I would say this is S tier right off the hop, just because it took a shit series and made it great. At least the last season. Know what I mean? Like, it got us where we wanted to be when we heard there was a Picard series coming out. Finally. So, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, what happens in the rest of the episode, Stuart?
In this one?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. It's not good, is it? If I was to think about it, I think this is the one where Jack is told about the Borg and goes to find the Queen, gets in the nebula, and then I'm thinking, not skimming, and then everyone gets plagued, starts shooting. They warp in, was a bad plan because they instantly get turned off by the Borg, whatever, or by the F, whatever, the F's there, and Shelby gets murdered, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And you see a giant space ball massacring on the Starbase
Day.
1 Frontier Day. So the F's pretty iconic. We both forgot about it. We meet the Queen again for the first time with Krieg. That's pretty iconic. The fact that the sets are almost pitch black, and I'm scrolling, and they're almost pitch black in every regard. That's still not good, and I forgot how bad that was because they're pretty much pitch black.
But this moment is iconic.
This one's iconic. Killing Shaw, and then warping from Earth to Anthem Prime in about 5 to 6 minutes, which is physically impossible without it being basically in our next solar system. But yes, Stuart, this gets an S because this zeitgeist is all over the internet and will always be remembered as Terry Trek saving Star Trek, which is ironic because they've not done anything with it. But it was beautiful. I cried, I teared up. I don't know if I cried, but I teared up. This is definitely one of the top moments of like the amount of things that had to go well to put this together is astounding, and they did it, and that's amazing. So yeah, I mean, here's a, and it beats out the next one, I think, in terms of icon, because this moment was so special, and had I not known it was coming, even bigger.
And Tab Extra will be the last one, just so you guys know.
Oh, just sneaks in, does he? Okay.
50 krona. The first decontamination episode of Enterprise, where T'Pol and Trip goes through a decontamination procedure. Fusion 01, episode 14.
Sleeping Dogs was the Klingon Raptor episode. Because that's what you're remembering about the episode, of course, the Raptor bit. That is the right one, right? Yeah. It's a great episode. Brand new Klingon ship, full Klingon sets. Hoshi, T'Pol, and Reed get episode, which they never get, whereas in Hoshi and Reed. A great Klingon lady is not a villain. It's great. And then he
Where would you put it? Because I don't remember it, so...
God, T'Pol's belly is so thin. My God. And his pecs. These are some good-looking people, right? Some good-looking people. It's the future, guys. Federation. I do think that this decon has become iconic. I think the decon chamber, Zeitgeist, would be a B, because everyone thinks it's so stupid and sexy and stupid. But this is not... I don't remember this as being the one for the episode, right? I remember it being the one where I think T'Pol and Archer rub each other. Or is it T'Pol and Trip? I don't know if it's this. I think it's a different episode. I mean, this episode, I like it quite a bit for the cool stuff in it, but you so forget it as being a really deep Klingon episode. Because an Enterprise, you just forget, because they don't do much Enterprise. I mean, if you didn't remember it at all, Stuart, that means an F, because that should not equate my knowing it, because I'm a ship guy who does stuff with ship models and looking back. That's irrelevant, right?
So we have... Alison Pill in a red dress and T'Pol half naked at F.
Or half clothed. If you look at it.
Yeah. All right, and we hit 50 likes right at the end here, which is awesome, guys. So thank you so much.
And the poll results are 27 votes. Not that many, guys. How are we with this list? How close are we to what your idea is? Pretty close, actually. 48%. Yes! Mostly on point. With a very close some I don't agree with. But only 7 entirely disagree. That's pretty good, I think. Pretty good.
It is pretty good.
So, yeah. And then, guys, last question. Do you want us to do a part 3 of this? Because there are still plenty. No one did Inner Light. No one did Best of Both Worlds. No one did All Good Things. There's plenty of other ones to do.
We can do another one next week if you guys really want. But let us know in the chat right now.
Yeah. And quick fire, let us know. And then what's our live schedule for the rest of the week? Stuart, my man.
Doing one tomorrow.
Huzzah.
Tune in.
Yes.
Don't know what it is yet. We'll figure it out.
We tend to see how we vibe that day.
Yes.
We like that.
Dan Ben says no, so... He's been complaining the whole time today. I don't know why.
Cage
you
is
okay,
terrible.
Dan? You having a bad day?
I mean, it is almost midnight. And Marie loves the cage. That's one of her favourite Trek episodes because it's like cerebral and interesting. Which shows she's not just saying it because she thinks I'm going to like it. Because that's a very specific, interesting take to have.
Brett Cloud says Shuttle Apollo 1 was a super iconic episode. Yeah, it's on here.
Yeah, that is our... Well, only got C.
Yeah, it's the first one in C.
If we had Iconic Enterprise, it'd be probably... Yes. And I think we should definitely do. Okay, well then, okay, again, quick fire. Would rather do an iconic all Trek or break it down to iconic of the show? So do an iconic TNG or DS9 to kind of break up a little bit. We'll give you 1 minute to vote.
Oh, yeah, we can start. I think instead of doing a part 3, we should just go through and start each series chronologically. The TOS, most iconic episodes.
So Enterprise, then Discovery, then Strange Worlds.
No, not chronologically, but like when
chronologically.
they were released.
Yes. Sorry, I'm being dick. Yes. Yeah.
So
We'll
see.
Yeah, I agree. That could be fun. And in fact, that would allow us to... And in fact, that would probably get us a new perspective on this to jump back to for part 3, because then we'll have re-experienced every show and get some more contrast. And I think that might be a useful thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Tune in tomorrow, and we'll see you then. And until then, go watch our old backlog of content. We got a lot of it. Super thanks on it. Do all the things.
True dat.
So,
true dat.
Until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley.